Train Your Caterpillar, a spiritual life coaching channel, and you're very welcome here. Thank you for checking out the video and the channel. I appreciate it a lot. And you know, if you feel called to like and subscribe for me at any point, I would appreciate that very much as well. So this is going to be one of a little series, like 3 videos probably, about how to keep your spleen happy, which might seem like a weird topic, but stay with me. It's a follow-on from a video that I did about what, like, the spiritual reason you might have zero energy. You know, it's to do with in Chinese medicine, if you have zero energy in the body, I mean, I'm always going to put a caveat here. Go see a doctor, right? If you feel like it's like suddenly brought on, like it's like, oh my god, I have no energy, or just go, you know, if you feel called to, like, go see a doctor, right? But there could be a spiritual reason for it, and in Chinese medicine, it's related to the spleen. Like in Chinese medicine, they relate the spleen to a lack of qi, a qi deficiency in the body. So qi in Chinese medicine just means energy. So it's, you know, a spleen deficiency or a qi deficiency just means like a lack of energy in the body. So there are steps that you can take to make your spleen happy, okay? Which is what we're going to talk about. It is quite a finicky little beast, which is why it's going to be a 3-part video. Keep them short and sweet. So when they talk about the spleen in Chinese medicine, so it's your spleen is a little organ here, just on the left side of your body, underneath your rib cage, and it is contained, in terms of chakras, it's contained within the yellow chakra, the solar plexus, right? The solar plexus is the one that deals with all your digestive kind of system, right? It's like where the, you know, like the intestines start and all this stuff, right? In terms of Chinese medicine, when they talk about the spleen, they're talking, they are talking about the actual little organ, but they're talking about, like, they consider it, the little spleen, to be the digestive fire, like the push behind the digestive system. So basically what they're saying is, if you have a spleen deficiency, you're not digesting things properly and you're not getting any energy from the food that you're eating. So food is a major part of it, which I'm going to discuss, okay? But don't despair, because I know myself, you know, my diet is something I've, oh man, my diet sucks. It's a lot better now, but oh man, it sucks. I suck at my diet. So I feel you, but there's little things that you can do to help, okay, without giving up all your favorite stuff. All right, I'll come back to that. The first thing that you need to know, though, really, is that worrying, the emotion of worrying and overthinking and being stressed out, this is something that kills the spleen, kills it dead. So people who are more prone to, excuse me, worrying and overthinking and stressing out by nature are going to have more of a problem with the spleen than other people, which seems really unfair, because it's like, but you're overthinking and you're stressed already, and then you have body issues and a lack of energy to add to that. I mean, you could say that some people are sort of more prone to worrying, but I would say that could be because of this things that you've experienced in your past, right? Like if you've had experiences that have taught you that life is stressful, or that you should always be stressed or on your toes, or like, you know, looking around your environment to see if anyone's going to flip out or criticize you, or you have to be perfect or people please, or, you know, there's a lack of money or a lack of safety, so it's like I have to be constantly, like, almost in survival mode, or constantly stressed out, or constantly like aware and, you know, tense basically, then obviously you're going to be more prone to worrying, right? So that's just something, it's not going to change your behavior overnight, right? I understand that. I'm a chronic worrier myself, okay? And I understand it's, you know, someone can't just be like, oh, stop worrying, and you're gonna be like, okay, because you're so used to doing it, like that's your natural go-to thing. It'll take time to unlearn the behavior, you know, because it's really about changing a mindset, about understanding that you don't have to be anxious and stressed out and filled with fear all the time. Like, that's not a necessary way to live your life, but it takes time to change the thinking. So, you know, it's not something, like I said, you're going to be able to change overnight, but the act of being aware of it, that all this chronic worrying is actually killing your spleen and, you know, messing with your energy levels and your digestive system and your health, it hopefully it will make you more aware of your own behavior, you know, because it might just make you aware of how much you worry, and then you can take steps to try and fix it over time, right? Like meditation or yoga or going for a walk or journaling or whatever for you, you know, just making time to like go for a bath or do something fun for yourself, you know. So the spleen is associated with the solar plexus chakra, but worrying is actually an emotion, excuse me, that's associated with the sacral chakra. So if you are a constant worrier, I recommend you know what it is? It's actually the lower 3 chakras, basically, okay? But the sacral chakra, definitely for worrying. The root chakra is very associated with anxiety. You can go and look this stuff up because I want to keep this video kind of short, you know. I have tons of videos on the chakras if you want to check those out. But yeah, the root chakra, very associated with like fear, anxiety, not feeling safe. Sacral chakra, worrying, anxiety. And then you have the solar plexus, which deals with self-confidence, having a clear head, being able to make decisions. So if you have these 3 chakras balanced, you're going to worry less because the energy is going to be flowing, right? But it's probably something you'll have to keep working on until you change the mindset. So that's the first thing, is try not to worry, which I know, right? But that's, you know, something for you just to sort of take into consideration and work on yourself over time, right? Now, I'm going to make a separate video about foods that the spleen likes and doesn't like, and other things that you can do to help the spleen. But in this video, I want to talk about the ways that you're eating, because the way that you're eating it actually affects the spleen as well, right? Before we even get onto the sort of types of food. So first of all, the spleen does not like the cold. So one thing that you can do without really changing your diet too much is you can start to avoid cold food, right? So like ice cream, for example, the spleen's not going to like that. Cold drinks from the fridge, you could ixnay them. I mean, this is probably easier in like a cold country like Scotland, right? Because it's, you know, you don't really want to make yourself that much colder anyway, but maybe if you live in a hot country, it's like, oh my god. It might be a big change to your diet, but yeah, that's something, you know, little changes that you can start making without kind of giving up your favorite stuff, right? So like cold sandwiches, ice cream, like cold drinks from the fridge. Obviously you're not going to be able to implement this all the time, like, you know, if you're working outside or like you're at work and you just need to shove a sandwich in your face, fair enough, right? But you know, maybe then for dinner you can have something hot, right? Because see, this is the thing, people always tell you that salad and smoothies are really good for your health, but actually if you have a spleen deficiency, then that's not necessarily what's good for your body, because the spleen doesn't like cold food. You know, like you might have noticed that having a salad or having a smoothie like made with cold milk from the fridge makes you worse, right? Because the spleen doesn't like it. Because basically the spleen likes kind of warm food because it's all to do with your digestive system, so it doesn't like having to heat up the food to bring it to a temperature that can be digested. You know what I mean? So you're trying to help it by giving it things that are easier to digest. So an easy way to do that is to cut out the cold food, which on the plus side means you can stop feeling guilty about not eating salad, right? Or drinking gross green smoothies. So, you know, people don't always know what they're talking about, right? When they're like, you should drink smoothies and eat salad. You could be like, shut up, that's not true. Another couple of weird things about the spleen, there's certain times of the day that are better for eating than others, right? It doesn't really like, try to avoid eating late at night. So like between 7 and 11 p.m. the spleen doesn't like that, because again, you're putting more pressure on the digestive system. So if you can eat like a bigger breakfast or like a bigger lunch, and then try not to eat too much later on. Don't drink too much fluids when you're actually having your dinner. Like you can have like a little bit of water or whatever you're drinking like during your dinner, but it doesn't like too much food, too much liquid during your dinner. And when you are eating your dinner, just focus on your dinner, you know, or your lunch or whatever. Like don't be having your lunch and then working, you know, or like taking a couple of bites of your food and then getting up and going doing things, because I'm bad for that. I can't sit still. Like I'll do like a little bit of my dinner and then I'll get up and go and do something. So like the actual act of sitting and enjoying and eating your dinner is good for the spleen. So like I said, I'm going to make a separate video about foods that the spleen likes and doesn't like, because honestly that's a video in and of itself. But I feel like you already know what I'm going to say, right? There's certain foods that the spleen really doesn't like. It doesn't like dairy, and it doesn't like sugar. Processed foods in general, like that whole area, I mean, you know, it's not good for you, but obviously you're not going to be able, I don't recommend like giving up all your favorite foods all in a winter, because honestly you're not going to be able to stick to it, right? Especially if you're someone that suffers from a lot of stress anyway. Like if you're kind of a worrier, there's always that desire. It's like, oh, but I have to get this done, so I'm just gonna like drink this kind of like Diet Coke and have this, like shove these crisps into my face or whatever. So, you know, don't try and do it all at once, but it's just something to be aware of, that like the more dairy, in particular dairy, it doesn't like because it's heavy, you know, the more dairy, the more sugar, the more processed stuff that you're eating, the less happy your spleen is. So that's the introduction video. I'm gonna, like I said, make another couple of videos. I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for watching. I'm taking spiritual life coaching sessions and tarot readings at the moment as well. If you want to check those out, description box has all that stuff in it. And as always, I wish you many blessings. Love and light. Take care.